everyone, Michael deMeng here, and welcome to Michael deMeng's Junk and Disorderly. This is an art podcast, and I am an assemblage artist. I'm also a storyteller, traveler, love movies. I love collecting weird oddities. In short, this podcast is a mixed bag of all the things that inspire me. So pull up a chair and take a listen. This episode, Teeny Tiny Shriny. Hey everybody, Michael deMeng here. Welcome aboard. So this episode, I wanted to chat a little bit about teeny tiny Shrinies. Now, if you're listening to this, you're not going to really be able to see some of the teeny tiny Shrinies that I'm playing with. So as I'll describe that I am picking up a tiny Shriney and showing it to the camera. I have been fascinated by little teeny tiny Shrinies since I can remember. One of my first teeny tiny Shrinies was actually a sardine can nicho. And by the way, the sardine can nicho was something that actually inspired me into making art. It was something that I saw in Oaxaca, Mexico. It was a tiny little shrine, had a little Adam and Eve scene with a devil selling apples for, I don't know, 1 peso, 10 pesos, beneath a tree. And I saw this little vignette inside a little sardine can, and I go, that's kind of a cool idea. And that little tiny thing led me into creating three-dimensional art. Before that, I was just a painter. So tiny Shrinies are on my mind right now. And over the years, I've made lots of different types of tiny Shrinies. I've made Hot Wheels, turned them into Shrinies that can both race and hang on the wall like a little Shriney. You just sort of mount the shrine on top, but you can race them. They're sort of speed racers. Obviously, different sizes. I am currently, I am filming an online workshop, which is going to be a lot of fun, called Latchkey Reliquaries. And so what we're going to be doing with that is tiny Shrinies. I'm taking old keys, discarded keys, things that, used to have a place to open, and now you don't remember where they are. What was that thing what did it open? I mean, everybody's got like a whole bunch of keys that you have no idea. You have your keychain. I have a bunch. I think literally right now I have 6 or 7 keys on my key ring that I really don't know what they open, but I'm afraid to throw them out because, oh wait, that's where that went. So if you figure out what you can throw away, this would be a perfect class. This is an online class, and basically we're going to take keys and turn them into little relics, and then we're going to create a little shrine around them. So the key themselves actually turns into a little relic, a little form, and then we build a reliquary that goes around it. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So I have keys to like the Batmobile. I have keys to Large Marge's rig. So I have a key that basically is a little. Do you remember Large Marge from Pee-wee's Big Adventure? She was the truck driver, and then her eyes sort of popped out and blah, right? So I did a key honoring Large Marge, and because she needs a special key. She's a ghost after all, so she would need a special key. So each key will open a different sort of sacred place. So, maybe the wine cellar to the Vatican. I'm currently holding up a key that has a little Virgin Mary sort of on it. And then of course there's a surrounding reliquary around it. Actually, this one is not to the wine cellar. This is actually, the key out of getting out of limbo. So if you're stuck in limbo, you can get out of there. So that's what this one is. So I'm sorry if you're listening to this as a podcast, but yes, there's a little saintly shrine around a Virgin Mary key. So tiny Shrinies are a lot of fun, because also what's nice about tiny Shrinies, one of the reasons I like making them, is sometimes doing a big piece can be a little bit overwhelming. You're making on something, you're like, oh my God, you have this whole thing you have to do, and it's a tremendous investment in time and energy. So I find that, doing some smaller things, you can do some things and feel like you've accomplished something. So I like to break things up, make stuff that's big, and then you go, oh, okay, I'm going to work on something intimate, something small, something teeny tiny. So, interestingly enough, I'm doing another tiny Shriney workshop this year, not just the online one with the keys. I'm doing one that's a little more general and perhaps a little bit bigger, but I'm doing a class called Fistful of Nichos. Now, a nicho, for those of you who don't know, a nicho is basically a little entryway, a little nook, a little place that you might put something in. Typically in Mexico, a nicho would imply sort of a little religious nook. So could be either size, but since I entitled my workshop for Oaxaca's Day of the Dead, Fistful of Nichos, I decided to make the nichos more handheld. So in this workshop, what we're going to do is we're going to create little shrines. And they really couldn't be shrines to anything. So the center relic, unlike the latchkey reliquaries class, the center relic can be literally anything. But we're going to be in Oaxaca during Dia de los Muertos, and there'll be lots of weird objects that people can find and use as their center relic. Might be a plastic luchador, might be, who knows? Who knows? There's any number of things that you can find, in the streets and the markets and whatever. I mean, bottle caps. You can find bottle caps. Here's a key. If you are looking for bottle caps and you want them nice and worn and rusted, the best thing is find a place where there's a bar. Okay, well, that's kind of duh, right? You find a bar. But the key is you have to find a bar that has cobblestone in front of it. If you find a bar with cobblestone in front of it, you go there the next morning before the street sweepers come by, you will find a whole bunch of little bottle caps in those nooks and crannies. Now, chances are those street sweepers aren't going to be able to pick them all up. They won't be able to sweep them up. And so a lot of those bottle caps are really old. So what you need to do is find a cobblestone street. Now, I know this is kind of a tall order, but you need to find a cobblestone street. You need to find a bar, and then you need to get there early and gather up your bottle caps. I'm telling you, that is a recipe for success. If you can do those things, you will find old rusty bottle caps, which are great. I use them to adorn shrines all over there's speculum here and speculum there. So Fistful of Nichos is in Oaxaca during Day of the Dead. So obviously my Day of the Dead workshop, we do lots of things for Day of the Dead. This year we're visiting alebrijes makers. Jacobo and Maria Angeles are joining us, who are world-renowned alebrijes. They're the beautiful crazy animal things that come out of Oaxaca, the wood carvings. And so they're going to spend some time with us, sharing their studio and then joining us for lunch. So that'll be a blast. And we're going to hit marigold fields before they're cut. So we'll go out to the marigold fields, and they're all lit up at night. It's really amazing. So that's going to be a blast. And of course, we'll visit cemeteries. So if you decide you want to make some teeny tiny Shrinies in Mexico, that'll be a great place to do it, because there'll be lots of stuff going on. Now, those of you out there listening as we speak, perhaps you want to do make teeny tiny Shrinies at home. That's fine. I would say, take a look at the Latchkey Reliquary Workshop. That'll be a lot of fun coming up soon. So yeah, teeny tiny Shrinies are a blast. I have made them from all sorts of little tiny things, from, little clock holders, using tiny characters if you want, train figures, little saints, you name it, anything will work. But I love my teeny tiny Shrinies. So, and then I get that out of my system, and then I can make something more grandiose. All right. Short little podcast today, but hope you guys are making lots of fun art, and I will talk to you next time on Junk and Disorderly. Talk to you later. Ciao. Thanks for listening, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this week's podcast and look forward to future podcasts related to the things that I like. Weird things, strange things, unusual things, sometimes everyday things. Hope to see you then.